Good evening, Facebook fam, Instagram, wherever you are catching this, Twitter, might be a little bit of that. I'm happy to join with you guys this evening. I think this is going to prove to be a very exciting topic. And so, yeah, we're just going to kind of hang out. I'm going to give you guys some time to get in here. Just want to give y'all guys a little bit of time to get in here. And I'm trying to make sure I'm not crooked on this thing. You wouldn't believe what I have. So I'm just going to knock it out. Knock it out. Okay, let me get it going in two spots over here where I can be interactive. Hey, I'm not sure. Make sure you comment when you come on so I know that you are there. So that I know that you are in the building. This is a really important subject that's very timely. I'm excited about it. If you know some other peeps that should be listening in to this, make sure that you invite them on in so that they can catch this. They don't want to miss this at all. Okay. Don't want to miss this at all. Okay, come on in the room. Come on in the room, everybody. I'm excited to get with you this evening. I wanted to set the time kind of right to give you a chance to get in from work, unwind a little bit. I know you have other things to do this evening. We are, celebrating a birthday girl ourselves. So, okay. Come on in the room, everybody. All right. I see y'all coming on in. If somebody is telling you about this, this is not broadcasting on my personal page. It is broadcasting on my Bold, Brave, and Courageous page. So I want to make sure that you get on in the building over here. I'm gonna click on some folks and make sure they didn't forget where we were going to be this evening. So I'm jumping in there right now. Hopefully they see it. Get involved. Because this is some good information. So I just don't want you to miss out at all. I'm just gathering some of my peeps here. Okay, I don't want to hold this up too long, but I do want it to be interactive. So that's why I want to kind of give some more folks a chance to come on in the room, because I want to hear from you. We're gonna support each other this evening. And I'm so grateful for those of you who joined me yesterday to kind of get the teaser to this. Hi, Rochelle. Hi, Jonna. I see you ladies in the building. All right. Share. I'm telling you, this is going to be something to chew on. So I'm excited. Let me just get this ball rolling because it is 7:04. I know other people. Hi, Jonna. Hi, Rochelle. Other people will pop in. I did post it to my personal Facebook, the No Fear Ladies Conference Facebook, Reach Forward Foundation, both the public page of the group and Bold, Brave, and Courageous. So let me go ahead and introduce myself in case you're on here, a friend invited you and you're like, who is this lady? My name is Waiwana Montgomery. I am the founder of the No Fear Ladies Conference for women and teen girls. This will be the 7th annual if we're able to host it this year. I'm also the founder, co-founder, and executive director of Reach Forward Foundation, which is a nonprofit youth mentoring program for both girls and boys in grades 6 through 12. And we are going into our third calendar year. We started January 2018, but we've been doing the work for much longer. We just officially became a nonprofit. And then, which is why you're on the Bold, Brave, and Courageous, a No Fear Success Guide for Teen Girl Facebook page, is because I am the author of this wonderful book, Bold, Brave, and Courageous, a No Fear Success Guide for Teen Girls. So you will hear a little bit more about it later, but I wanted to dive in right now on something. Hi, Sabrina. Yes, as you come into the room, wave so I know that you're there. And you guys, even though this is a Facebook Live, I'm going to start using Zoom so that I can see and hear you guys. I still want you to please type your comments so that we can be interactive and I can address it. So here's where we're at. Hi, Felicia. I have 2 teenage girls, both 13-year-olds. We're excited to wrap up their 8th grade year. They're going to be in high school next year. And then, like all of you, this COVID-19 thing hit. And let's just think about it. It was on my heart to share this because it's life-altering for us all, right? As adults, there are people who have lost their jobs. There are people who've actually been sick with the COVID-19 coronavirus. School has closed, so now every single one of us, even if you weren't a homeschooler before, all of a sudden you are working from home if your job allows you to do that. You are schooling from home. There's all of these things that you are trying to do that are brand new in our world. Hi, Jonna. Yes, she says she loves Zoom. I'm going to definitely be doing that next time because I want to be interactive more where I can see and hear you too. So all this is going on, but I wanted to take some time. There's all kind of stuff on the news and social media kicking up about how to support ourselves as adults. But I wanted to focus on our girls because there's enough going on, right? You guys throw up some hearts or something if you know what I'm talking about. There's enough going on in the lives of our girls already, just being teenagers, right? So let's stop and take the pulse of it. How are our girls doing right now? I'm going to name some things that I think are happening with them. And you chime in, please. I want to see some hearts or some thumbs ups on the screen. If you agree, you can also add, here's what's going on with them. Because I see it in my own too, right? Oh my gosh, they are bored. Do you understand me? This COVID-19 hit in the middle of spring break. It's cool if you just want to chill for a minute over spring break. But who knew that spring break was going to end up being 3 weeks? In the case of Oklahoma City, and that probably happened to others of you, it became a 3-week spring break. And it's one thing to have a 3-week spring break if you can do something. But I'm talking about a 3-week spring break where you couldn't go to the amusement park, you couldn't go to the public pool, you couldn't go shoot basketball at the recreational center. Everything is shut down during all this at-home time they're having. So they are bored. They're missing friends and family, like visiting people in person. Things that are going on. People are having birthdays. Like I said, we're having a virtual birthday party because I keep saying my 2 13-year-olds, Melina, my niece, actually turns 14. Today is her birthday. So an hour after I get off this live, we're having a virtual birthday party on Zoom so that our family in Seattle can actually see and talk to her. They're missing birthday parties and sleepovers and all these other things that would be going on. Some of them might have part-time jobs where for safety reasons, maybe they're not working or it was a non-essential business, so it's closed. Guys, they're worried about next school year. Even the ones, I'm going to talk about the seniors in a minute, but even if they're not a senior, now they're worried about next school year. They want to know, is this thing going to keep going on until August? Like, are we going to have to struggle through this distance learning thing another year, like the beginning of next fall? Okay, oh my gosh, that's a lot for them. Okay, and let's talk about the seniors. I don't have a senior girl, but I do have a senior son. They're missing prom, which is a major milestone. They're not going to have a physical graduation, which is a major milestone. And then it's kind of like no matter what grade you're in, your school year just ended unexpectedly. Like you went to spring break thinking you were going to come back and then wrap up your last 2 months or 6 weeks or whatever, say goodbye, earn awards, get those last academic things that they needed. And they didn't have that. It's like they went home for spring break and then the year ended. That's a shock, you know? And so the seniors, no prom, not a physical graduation, you know, and now they're already starting to wonder about colleges. If they don't know what college they want to go to now, okay, you can't physically visit, so you have to do a virtual tour instead. You don't even know if you can reach the authorities to help you make the decision, the financial aid team, the admissions team, all of that. Are the dorms and is the school, the college even going to be physically open when it's time to go, right? So these are all the things that are on their minds. And then they're concerned for their own health. I have to admit, they might not have taken it seriously at first, but now they're kind of wondering, the longer this thing lasts, am I going to be safe? Am I going to be healthy? Are my grandparents going to be healthy? You know, are my parents going to be healthy? You know, you guys can chime in if I've missed the things that your teen daughters may be concerned about. So that was just some thoughts from my own head and my own personal experience. But I wanted to get some data to kind of back up what I was thinking. So I pulled an article from a website called Wired. Okay, and the article was posted 10 days ago, but I feel like it still rings true. And the title is Reality of COVID-19 is Hitting Teens Especially Hard. And here's why. The plans that they had for themselves before COVID-19, now they're uncertain in many instances. Again, they don't get to have those end of the year rituals and routines that you go through. You know, they didn't get to say goodbye to their friends. They didn't have those final dances. They don't have, even the 8th graders were going to have a graduation. I just emailed the principal today and said, you know, are you guys going to email or mail out the awards that they would have received for academics and just a certificate of completion? Those things are important. You know, they might have had spring break travel plans, family vacations, but now we've had to cancel all of those. So we're sitting at home and we can't even travel and do those extra things we're going to do. So here's what the author had to say about his own daughter. His own daughter, Zoe, is a 17-year-old senior. And basically, because of the fact that she's not going to have prom or graduation or even just be able to close out the year, if you think about it, they didn't even get the chance to get a yearbook in their hands to have people sign it. All of those things are so important, such important milestones that the rest of us enjoy. So his daughter basically feels like being a senior and having her school year end so abruptly, like she was in track and field, athletes didn't get to finish their sports season. She feels like the last 4 years have been for nothing since she doesn't get to properly wrap up her senior year. Guys, that's pretty heavy. That might sound extreme, but think about that from the heart and mind and the spiritual and emotional place of a 17-year-old girl. Everything she's done in 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and the part of 12th grade that she had, which was thankfully most of the year, all of those things were meant to live up to this moment when you get to walk around and be like, yeah, I'm part of the class of 2020. I'm a senior. We run this joint. We're on top. She didn't get to close it out. They're not getting to close it out. You know, it's kind of like you're a senior, but it doesn't even feel like necessarily to them that it means as much because they don't get to close it out. They don't get to showcase for the world. Walk that stage with your cap, gown, and tassel. Shake the hand of the superintendent and the principal and your teachers. You know, do that little dance that you're really not supposed to do. You know, imagine if you're the valedictorian and the salutatorians and you were looking up to that, giving that big speech. You know what I'm saying? And giving all your classmates some words to live by, to chew on. All of those milestones that we take for granted are not happening for anyone this year who's a senior or an 8th grader moving up to 9th grade or a junior high 9th grader moving up to 10th grade or a kindergartner, for that matter of fact, moving up to 1st grade. So here's what the article went on to say. And again, if you want to read it for yourself, it was on a website called Wired. And the article is Reality of COVID-19 is Hitting Teens Especially Hard. It says this: sheltering in place is even worse for teens than adults because According to Psychology Today writer Christine L. Carter, teenagers and college students have amplified innate developmental motivations that make them hard to isolate at home. The hormonal changes that come with puberty conspire with adolescent social dynamics to make them highly attuned to social status and peer group. Translation, they are wired to want to be a part of a peer group and to assert a certain position within their peer group, social status. So they're even sitting at home, like even feeling like maybe even their mere existence means less because they're not in that peer group where they're used to laughing and talking and cracking jokes. And, some of them were leaders and some were followers. We really want them to be leaders. But that whole mix, their whole existence, basically what gives them energy is being with their peers. So I kept reading the article and I actually had to laugh, and parents give me a thumbs up or some hearts, and mentors if you can relate. This may come as a surprise, parents, but as much as teenagers connect and stare at phone apps, right? They're in their room and you're like, get up off of Snapchat and Twitter and Instagram and come live real life. As much as they connect and stare at phone apps, guess what? They actually miss walking the hallway at school, talking to their friends and even hanging out and just seeing kids that might not even be your friend, but you've been in school with them and they've lived in your neighborhood since you kindergarten. They miss that. They actually miss going to school and seeing their friends in person. Imagine that. Go figure. And one of the teenagers in the article even said, it's so funny. As a teenager, you always want the opposite of what's going on. When you're at school, all you can think about is going at home. And now that they're at home indefinitely, they're like, oh my gosh, I actually wish I could go to school. This is real. So think about as you're dealing with your teenager every day, guys. We've got to be patient. We've got to be patient. This is so uncertain. Don't stress them out. Like, don't melt down in front of them. But think about what they're going through, trying to process this all. And sometimes they forget. Like, I was talking to Tavia today, and she's telling me about some food she wants. And I'm like, baby, the restaurant is not open. We can't just roll up in there and grab a booth. They forget that this is going on. So it's like, oh my gosh, that's true. We can't do that. So this was something else interesting. I always want to pour some stats in there. And you guys, if you have any questions, I'm getting ready to share a bit about what we're doing as well to support our teens at home and the types of things I've been trying to do to, put some messaging out there to help our Reach Forward Foundation parents support their teens. But here's a poll that the article referred to that I thought was interesting. And it makes perfect sense when we think about how our teenagers are experiencing this whole thing. And then think about our girls. Girls are even more like kind of social butterflies, and they feel so deeply and more emotional. So this thing is even deeper for them. So it says a new study polled students between the ages of 13 and 25 about their current mood. So this is trying to assess how they're feeling about basically this sheltering in place that's going on all around the country. A new study polled students 13 to 25 about their current mood. And guys, this is what the top 3 results are. And the question is, should we really be surprised? The top 3 about their mood. Number 1 is they were frustrated. 54% of the students between the ages of 13 and 25 said they were frustrated. And the reason why we're including 25-year-olds is college students. Imagine that. You made it through high school. You have sweated, had sweat, blood, and tears. I remember pulling multiple all-nighters, even as a senior, to get done. And you don't get to walk that stage and get that bachelor's, that PhD, that associate's, whatever it is. It's stressful. So 54% say their mood is frustrated. 49% said their mood was nervous. It's that uncertainty. I've graduated from college, but am I going to be able to get a job? Maybe I already had a job offer and now I don't even know if they're going to hire anymore. I'm graduating from high school, but is my college going to be open when it's time to go? What am I going to do if COVID-19 or something else breaks out while I'm in the dorms? There's all these new thoughts and concerns that we've never had before that they have. And the third answer, 40% said they feel disconnected. connected. This goes to prove the thing that actually makes me feel good. As much as we are quote unquote connected through social media, this is actually making teenagers and young adults realize that you're not connected just because you're connected on Snapchat and Instagram. Hallelujah. I'm glad they actually have that revelation. True connection is face to face, skin to skin, being able to touch somebody, give them a hug, a high five, a dap, whatever your secret handshake is. That's real connection. Going to visit your friends, sitting up at the house laughing while you Netflix and chilling. So again, bringing this back to our teen girls, I mean, the hormones that they deal with anyway, all of this just feels them kind of up and down. You know, a lot of them have taken it in stride. You know, they're flexible, they're adaptable. But the longer this goes on, they really need our support. And I have to tell you, that support is more than just, you know, making sure they do their homework. So that leads me into my next thing. Again, please comment and chat questions if you have them or want to know how we're handling certain things. So keeping all that information in mind, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about how our girls are doing. They're bored. They're missing their friends and family. They're missing birthday parties that are going on. Some of them have jobs that they can't work right now. They're worried about their health and the health of their parents and their grandparents. And let's not even talk about our high school senior girls who are missing out on prom and a physical graduation, just award ceremonies, all those rites of passage that they would have. The school year just abruptly ended. So with all of those things in mind and them feeling uncertain, they don't know what's going on, you know, and Jonna says, oh my gosh, let me read this because this is so true. My friend Jonna Herbert says, and support isn't letting them just sleep as long as they want to in order to keep the peace. Amen to that. We're doing distance learning and have been effective April 6th. But the whole week before that, I started waking my girls up. I didn't make them get up at 6 a.m. like they had to for school. But I told them, I'm going to start waking you up at 9. And I don't care if you choose to sleep until 9:55. I expect to see you sitting around the dining room table with me by 10 o'clock. And I gave them 3 hours of work to do a day the whole week before we reopened virtually. So yes, support is not letting them sleep all day, because you know what? Too much sleep is actually a sign of depression. That's a whole other topic. You don't want to just let somebody sleep and sleep and sleep and the world is going on and they're not engaged. That's actually not healthy for them. So keeping all of these things in mind that our teen girls are experiencing, you might be wondering, how can I best support them? Yes, I'm their mom. I'm the grandma. I'm the teacher. I'm the mentor. I love them. They know I love them. All of that. How can you best support them? Let me give you some ideas. Talk openly about their feelings. Do you understand? I'm working from home. I'm still working from home. I'm a remote employee anyway, so I've always worked from home. I work for an educational technology company, so my kids are used to seeing me at home. But, now we're all in together. The internet is slowing down because they're doing work while I'm working online. So take time to sit down, put your phone down, clear your thoughts, and listen to them. They really need you to sit down and have a conversation. You can facilitate that by simply having dinner together. We need to do more of that anyway, because you don't know what's going on when your daughter is all hovered up with the phone in her bedroom with the door shut. Can I get an amen? Let them talk openly about their feelings and don't judge them. Let them talk, because they need to get that off of their chest. And I'm glad that the school district that we're in, even the English teachers even gave some assignments that kind of have let them journal about this. We're living history. In 20, 30 years from now, they'll have great stories to tell their children and their grandchildren. But right now, it's not funny. So allow them to talk openly about their feelings. Another thing that's important, spend quality family time. When they first even started talking about this, I knew better than to wait till the shutdown happened. I took my niece to Walmart and hi, Dana. I took my niece to Walmart and we started buying games that would be fun. We have Monopoly. Matter of fact, we put some spice on it. I have mostly girls. We bought Miss Monopoly, okay? Because in Miss Monopoly, girls rule the world. We like that. And they make more money than men. So that's even more fun in that game. We bought Miss Monopoly. We bought Parents versus Kids, which is these funny questions Like the kids get to ask the parents stuff that's known amongst like youth culture, but you have to guess what you think the parents' response is going to be. And the parents get to ask the kids things that most parents would know the answer to, or adults, but you've got to guess what you think they're going to have the answer. And then Family Feud, y'all, it's hilarious. We only have the card version, with Steve Harvey on the cards, but it's still hilarious. Even just being the MC of that game is fun. And then my husband found Simon Says, y'all, the old-fashioned. Oh, it's down here. You remember that old-fashioned Simon Says, like the actual round Simon Says. We found it. We got some Uno cards, but we spiced it up. We have Uno Dare. Get some games, play them. Also, jigsaw puzzles. My family loves puzzles. You can put out a 1,000-piece puzzle, and as people are going out through their day, they'll just sit down. My son and the girls, they'll just sit down and start working a little bit of it. Play some games and watch movies together, okay? I think it was last night. Last night we watched The Passion of the Christ. Easter just went by. And I realized when The Passion of the Christ came out, my 28-year-old bonus daughter was a kid. So she's the one that we took to see The Passion of the Christ in the theater. But we hadn't watched it with the 13-year-olds and our 18-year-old son. So we watched The Passion of the Christ. It's a good chance to renew your faith, as you're hanging out too. So be intentional. Have family game time and watch some movies that you can all enjoy. The other thing, whatever distance learning plan, I know I have people listening from all over the country and even internationally. Hello, Chimso. I have some of my friends in Gaborone, Botswana are also watching. Whatever distance learning your student's school has made available, hold them accountable. Yes, the distance learning is not as rigorous as what they were getting in the classroom because the teacher is not there to teach it. And you might not, I'm going to just be honest. My day is long, and I know my girls are not getting everything they need to get out of their math assignments. I'm going to have to just start taking a Saturday and going back through some of the math and just make sure they're at least kind of getting the concept somewhat. And thankfully, we have very supportive teachers that are offering them, hey, watch this Khan Academy video or Math Antics, go to IXL to get some extra support, whatever they need, because they don't have textbooks. That's a whole other topic. They didn't have textbooks when they were in school. They only had a classroom set, so they use iPads and PowerPoints anyway. But it's important because we already know if you think summer learning loss is a big deal, every student in the entire world, just about, since 90 to 95% of students worldwide are out of school right now and will be the rest of the year, that learning slide is going to be at a ridiculous level that teachers are going to have to try to be digging our kids out of for the next 2 years. So whatever you can do, hold them accountable to the work that the teachers are giving them. And yes, most systems are saying they basically froze the grades that they had before the closure, and it can't hurt them. They're not going to hold anybody back. They're not going to flunk anybody, but you still need to hold them accountable. It is important that they continue just that engagement. I have learned that my girls are some amazing writers, and especially because their teachers have given them compelling topics. They even had the chance to write about a dating experience. Now, granted, they had the one that answered that prompt, they had no business dating, no way. But hey, the teacher was smart and knew they'd pay attention if you get to write about a dating experience that you had. Why did you break up and what happened and how did you feel and all of that? He knew that if he gave a topic like that, middle schoolers were going to respond. So I give my hats off to him on that one. So hold them accountable. I'm holding my girls accountable to that roughly 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. because they still need some structure. And then on top of what the school is assigning that they're turning in through Google Classroom every night, I'm making sure they read 30 minutes a day. Reading is fundamental. That has not changed. Since LeVar Burton had us on Reading Rainbow, that has not changed. That affects every other subject that you have. Also, my kids don't know how to really write in cursive because they were coming up in a time when Oklahoma quit teaching it. Guess what? I found cursive writing workbooks for teenagers. So it don't have little baby pictures and all that, and it even has some inspirational quotes. I'm offering a bonus at the end of the summer to everybody in my household who has taken the time and can fully write everything in cursive. I am not sending Kyrie to Loris College without knowing how to write in cursive. I am not sending Tavia and Melina to high school without knowing how to write in cursive. And yeah, any documents I leave, I have a thing where I can put down family history. I will not be printing, so they need to learn to write in cursive. So I'm going to pause and take some of the comments that some of you have shared about the learning importance. Jonna says, Khan Academy is awesome. I climbed in the bed with my baby girl the other day and we figured it out together. It was awesome. Yes. And that's a whole other issue because since they don't have textbooks anymore, I know way more about their learning, what they're learning right now, than I knew when school was in session. Right? Because the assignments are actually coming to me. That's a whole other thing. Okay, and Dana Carter just said, yeah, she's right. It is going to really hurt that they have this last 6 weeks of distance learning, and possibly school districts are having to ramp up for the very real possibility that when school starts again, it'll be distance learning. So it still won't be as strong as it needs to be, and they will have had all this learning slide. I'm having mine read the classics and everything over the summer. Here's the thing. If your child can't be trusted to read independently, don't like it, you would be better off getting a classic, something you know they have to read in high school or middle school or wherever your teenage daughter's at anyway. Read that thing as a family. Pass it around and each person read a paragraph and have that conversation like you have in a classroom. What is the mood of the character? What is the setting? What can you guess may happen next? What is going on? Can you relate to that situation? You have to keep them going. And yes, Dana says, handwriting without tears. Oh, she said handwriting without tears is a great curriculum as well. Why is my husband on here talking about he's going to get the bonus writing in cursive? You already know how to write in cursive, baby. You don't get it. And Dana says, why I will host a free sewing class. Thank you. Dana is going to host a free sewing class if anyone is interested. And that's definitely something we can do virtually. Keep them engaged. So, yes, Dana was like, find a homeschool family and ask them to mentor. Yes, you are asked because homeschool parents have been doing it. We're surrounded by a community of homeschoolers. My son is actually an EPIC charter school student. So he's been online for the past 2 years, which is actually a godsend because otherwise he'd be one of those seniors who's scrambling trying to get the rest of what they need done. He was already an online student and he worked ahead all through spring break and he didn't have to stop when school shut down because he could still do all his online work. It's just the things that were offline, the papers and the lab write-ups, he knew the teacher couldn't grade till the shutdown opened. But Kyrie worked his tail off. I'm so proud of him. I'm bragging. He literally, as of this morning, only had 2 science labs, 2 science discussions, a science project. So that's just 5 science assignments and 6 English assignments left. They're all like papers. He did all his online stuff already. That's it. He had 4 classes and he finished 2 of his classes last week. So he's been writing all day, like he's like, Mom, it's easy for me to finish on my online stuff and then get my mind in gear to get ready and write my papers where I'm analyzing literature and things like that. Writing is not his favorite thing or his forte. He's really got to get in the zone for that. So Kyrie will be finished before this weekend is out with his entire senior year. So yes, I can, folks are having to do stuff online. I can kind of provide some insight as well. We aren't traditional homeschoolers, but Kyrie has been an EPIC charter school student for the last 2 years, which means that he has been a virtual student and we know some tips and tricks to get that done. So, Jonna also says, I've had them watch the movie before to get them interested in what the book is about. Yes, so if you have them reading one of the American classics, or even if it's like The Hate You Give, my kids have seen The Hate You Give and now Tavia's reading the book. So yes, if you're dealing with somebody who doesn't like to read or just trying to fight you tooth and nail, by all means, have them watch the movie first and then read the book to get in. And actually, Jonna, I don't think you are cheating. You know why? Because movies are very different from the book. The movie has to cut some corners to be short enough, fit it in 2 hours, whereas the book might be long where it takes you a whole week or several weeks to read it, and there's more details in the book than what you find in a movie. So it's actually cool to do that, and then that could even be a whole writing assignment. Take notes while you watch the movie and then write, a short essay on the similarity, compare and contrast basically is what I'm trying to get at, and then they could summarize it with whether or not they enjoyed the book or the movie later. So anyway, we got a lot on the education piece, but it is so important. The amount of review that teachers have to do at the beginning of the year anyway. Keep your teen girl doing something academic because teachers are going to have to dig deep. If your teenage girl is a senior, please still make sure that you celebrate her. There's so many ways. I'm in a support parent group for Epic parents. There's a challenge that's going on that's pretty cool. Parents of seniors are taking the caps and gowns of their seniors and hanging them on the door, just so that the community knows, hey, my child may not be having a physical graduation, but we're honoring her. I was looking on the news. Wow, the city of Crescent, the town of Crescent, which is a small town that I actually work with in my with Everfi, they have actually got businesses. They raise the money in 24 hours to hang. You know those large banners that you see on lamp poles in a downtown, like maybe to announce an event or welcome to our city. They have huge banners hanging of every single senior, which I thought was amazing to honor them, since they are not going to have the opportunity to have a graduation. Celebrate them anyway. You know, Epic is providing my son with a virtual graduation. So it'll be a huge slideshow where his name will still be called. The picture, y'all, my son's a mess. He's become quite popular on Instagram because of these funny TikTok videos he does and puts on Instagram. He's having his followers vote on the picture that he should use for his senior virtual graduation. So, he's having a virtual graduation, so I'm going to host a Zoom virtual graduation party. And if you really think about it, on the bright side is no, he won't be able to walk the stage. I won't be able to scream from the stands. But guess what? I'm from Seattle. I've only lived here 11 years. All of my family in Seattle and North Carolina and Virginia and Tennessee, they will actually be able to take part in his graduation. His school has taken the time to drill it down and tell me the exact time frame when he will come across the screen. So isn't that awesome? And they're also taking the time to still print hard copy programs and mail us a copy. And we went ahead and still ordered his cap and gown. So again, he can still take those traditional photos and he can have his cap and gown and his National Honor Society honor cord, which I'm so proud. I have a son with a 3.7, graduated with honors. So yes, he will still be able to be celebrated. So, you know, help your child. Don't be talking doom and gloom to them. Find other ways to honor and celebrate them. Blast them on social media, which I've been doing. You know, there's some other custom things that I am doing for him that he doesn't even know about to honor him. So honor your girl. The other thing you can do, keep going. If your daughter is a senior and you haven't decided what college she's going to, keep searching. That doesn't mean you stop the college planning, whether it's a 4-year, whether it's a community college, whether it's vocational school, whether she's going to the military. That doesn't mean that you stop planning just because we have COVID-19. This is not going to be always. Keep her moving. Keep her inspired. Keep the planning going. She still needs a future on the other side. Drop some thumbs up if you understand what I'm saying. Your daughter still has a future on the other side of COVID-19. Keep applying for scholarships. When you go to school, you still need the scholarship. Amen? You still need the scholarship. Okay? You still need to keep planning. Okay, so colleges are on lockdown. Don't be disheartened because you can't go there physically. They're all offering virtual tours. Thank you for those that are congratulating Kyrie. I know I'm talking about girls, but my senior's a son, so I had to shout him out. Thank you, Chimso. Thank you, Jonna. Colleges are having virtual tours. Go on their website and sit down with your daughter and have a virtual tour. Again, she's still going to get to go, even if it looks a little different up front. And stay in contact with the college. I have been in contact. I even let our mission staff know, hey, my spouse's income is going to be impacted by this COVID-19. Are you guys able to give him more financial aid if we need it? And I don't mean loans. I want more grants and scholarships. You know what he said? He got back to me immediately and said, I'm so glad you reached out. I know you're not the only family who is probably experiencing this. I have a meeting tomorrow and I'm going to share it. And he let me know. We're watching to see what the federal government does. Our college, we need to see as a college, are we going to get more funding or are we going to get less funding? And then our school has its own endowment that can support families that may experience an income fluctuation or total loss of income or partial losses of income. So I'm glad you let me know. Keep communicating with the university. I asked the admissions director. So that was the financial aid director who got back with me immediately. They're working from home. So they're still working, just working from home. The admissions director, I asked her, I said, do you foresee students still being able to physically matriculate when school starts? Like right now, he's supposed to start August 22nd. Stay in contact with the school or the vocational program, whatever it is your daughter is supposed to be doing if she's a senior. Stay in contact. Have her contact them. Find out their plan is. The admissions director let me know. We are still moving ahead and recruiting and expecting a normal physical matriculation. Of course, if the public health situation doesn't improve and the CDC is still recommending that we remain virtual, we will let everyone know. But stay in contact. His college, like every other business, the colleges have COVID-19 updates as well. It's the first thing you see when you go to their page. Stay in contact with the school. Don't let your daughter lose her inspiration. Okay? Keep planning. Keep visiting the school virtually. You can visit. Keep doing her scholarship applications. If you didn't catch my live about raise.me to build your teenage girl a profile, even if she's not a senior, to start earning micro scholarships, go back down my personal Facebook page and find that live and the screenshots that I posted on how to set a raise.me portfolio to help your student earn micro scholarships, whatever it is. If your daughter's joining the military, have her stay in contact with those officers. Don't let her lose hope and inspiration just because things are a little bit different right now. And another thing I want to add, parents, try to keep your own emotions in check and under control. If you've lost your job or you're worried that you may lose your job or something else is going on, something is stressing you out, go in your room and have a meltdown by yourself or scream in the bathroom while they're outside. But try your best not to fall apart in front of them. Because if you fall apart and express all your worries and y'all are sitting there together just watching the news cycle 24 hours a day, which will absolutely stress you out and depress you, she's going to take that in, guys. They take their psychological cues from us. So if you're sitting in the presence of your daughter and you're doom and gloom and oh my gosh, and what are we going to do? That's the way she's going to feel. You don't want to put that burden on her. You can be realistic. Like if you've lost your job and there's an income fluctuation, yes, you need to be real about that. Because now is a good time to have a life lesson about the budget and the fact that we need to adjust some things. But try your best to just keep your emotions in check, and don't just have, hours of negative conversations with them about the whole conversation. And then above all, listen to them. They're going to have all kinds of thoughts, emotions, questions right now. Listen to them. They need you to listen. More than ever, your daughter needs you to listen. Hi, Melody. That's one of my high school friends on the line right now. Listen to your daughter. She's going to need you to listen to them. Does anybody have any questions before I go into this last part? We are on excellent time. Yes, there is a difference between listening and just lecturing at them. Anybody have any questions, comments they want to add? I'm going to go back. I missed a comment that I think Dana Carter shared about the education piece again. She says she just thought about this. Prison capacity, they literally use reading scores to determine how many prisons they need to build. Based on third grade reading scores, y'all. I actually had a teacher tell me this one time. When my son was in third grade and struggling with reading, this teacher literally told me that you better make sure he gets caught up in reading because a young African-American male especially is at high risk for going to prison if he's behind in reading. Seriously, y'all, the teacher told me this in real life, in the flesh, in a parent-teacher conference. And I said the devil is a lie, and we got to working on his reading, and he does not have a problem now. In fact, he told me being a virtual student has even improved his reading and comprehension because he's reading all of his material all the time to himself every day. So yes, if prisons are building capacity based on third grade reading scores and our young third graders actually they were out of school at the time that they would have been taking the test. Those tests are normally taken in April, and they missed those tests. And back to teenagers again. If you're concerned because your child did not take the ACT or the SAT before the shutdown and now those tests aren't being offered, a lot of colleges are actually removing the entrance exam requirement for students matriculating fall 2020 because they know At this point, if you didn't take it before the shutdown started happening in about the third week of March, you might not have an opportunity. So a lot of schools are waiving that. And if you're in Oklahoma, Oklahoma State University has never required that as a requirement for college admission anyway. They look at the student's other portfolio because, one high stakes exam is not really telling you what a student is capable of. Some people just have test anxiety. So if there are no questions, I have 3 things to offer you. Thank you so much to all of you who are on this call. Again, I'm going to introduce myself again. Everybody I see on the screen are folks who know me, but I know this replay is going to go on. Again, my name is Waiwana Montgomery. I am the parent guardian of 2 teenage girls. One turned 14 today, and one is 13 still. They're both 8th graders, rising 9th graders. I have an 18-year-old son, which is why I could speak to the high school senior experience. He just turned 18 in March, and he's a senior. I am also the founder and conference producer for the No Fear Ladies Conference. This August, God willing, will be the 7th annual. I'm praying that the virus clears over and I can still host it. August 1st, right here in Oklahoma City at the Edmond Downtown Community Center. That is a conference for teen girls and women. We have speakers for both. And then also, I am the author of a 2-time award-winning book for teen girls. It is called Bold, Brave, and Courageous, a No Fear Success Guide for Teen Girls. I'm also the co-founder and executive director of Reach Forward Foundation, which is a nonprofit mentoring program for teen girls and teen boys. And Frederick, my husband, if you're still on the line, will you please comment our website for me so that parents and mentors online can check it out? To keep it simple, I'm going to offer Waiwana.com, WYJUANA.com. If you go to my personal website, there's a tab about the book and about the conference. But from the main homepage, if you scroll all the way down and click the group photo of some teenagers, that will take you to the Reach Forward Foundation page so you can learn about what we do with our mentees. And normally, if this COVID-19 stuff wasn't going on, we typically meet third Saturdays each month for 2 hours. We know this age group is busy, so we meet just once a month. We do college visits. We did ACT prep classes. We bring in speakers. We teach them about decision making, college prep, or whatever your next step is, goal setting, all of those things. So you'll want to learn about that. We're still engaging them virtually as well. So here's what I want to offer you as I wrap this up. So I'm excited for those of you who've been on the line. We've been at this thing for almost an hour. I'm hoping you've heard a lot of good information. So I was sitting, and again, I really, really have a heart for teen girls. So I was trying to figure out what could I do. So Bold, Brave, and Courageous, again, is based on the No Fear part of it. And that's an acronym that I created myself. The conference is named for that as well. So No Fear stands for never let anyone tell you what you cannot do. Open your mind to the possibility of your greatness. Fight for what you want. Expose yourself to new things. Act on opportunities to launch yourself and reach forward. So each chapter of the book is based on one of those concepts. I open up with a personal story about myself that demonstrates when I learned that. So I might have been 8 or 9 years old. I might have been in high school. Some of the stories are from college and then young adult. So there's a little something for everybody. So I open with the personal story that ties that concept together and when I personally and how I learned that lesson. Then I kind of drop some common sense wisdom. It reads very conversational like a hey girl, let me tell you, so that it's not reading dense like a dictionary. And then in the very back, it's one thing to read, but you need a way to kind of chew on it. So in the back, there's actually a short journal reflective type section where they can kind of work on it. So for example, since there's a chapter about exposing yourself to new things, the journal part that goes along with that invites them to create a bucket list. So to make a list of 10 things that they want to do and then actually write the date when they get the chance to do it. Thank you, sweetheart. My husband just posted the nonprofit's website as well. So for those of you on the line, and actually anybody who sees even the replay is qualified, but probably those of you who are on the line are more likely going to see it first. Frederick, will you please type in my Reach Forward Foundation email address? It's reachforwardfoundation@gmail.com. And the reason why I am sharing this information as I kept thinking, what can I do to help parents, grandparents, other caregivers, foster parents, group home leads, mentors, whoever it is, teachers who are working with girls? What can I do to support them in this moment? Kind of something that, as I said, keep them inspired, keep them encouraged. So here's what I'm going to do as an award-winning author. Again, 2-time award-winning. I got the Feathered Quills Outstanding Young Adult Nonfiction Award, the Bronze Award in 2018, and also got the Independent Authors Network Outstanding Teen Nonfiction. And before I share what I'm about to do, the sweet spot for this book, the sweet spot is about 13 to 16. That's the sweet spot. But it is for teen girls. So honestly, anybody from 13 to 18. But I'm just saying, if I'm talking about the ones that are kind of right in that middle place to really sink their teeth in deep. But again, I've even had my very first mentee ever is now a new med student. And when she was in that transition between college and medical school, she wrote me and was like, well, I stayed up till 1 o'clock in the morning. Even though I'm no longer a teenager, the things you talk about still resonated with me as someone who's a young lady going through the transition from college to medical school. So 13 to 16 is a sweet spot, but if your daughter's a senior, it's relevant as well, maybe even more, because I do have a story about kind of transitioning in college and how to rebound from setbacks. So here's what I'm going to offer to you guys. The first 10 people, so I'm literally going to base this off the first 10 emails that I see in my reachforwardfoundation@gmail.com inbox. The first 10 respondents who send me an email saying I want in, please give me your name, your daughter's name. Somebody can type this up, please. The first 10 that email me at reachforwardfoundation@gmail.com with their name, their daughter's name, how old she is, so her age and the school she attends, and your address. Here's why I need your address. So somebody please type this in for me. I'm taking the first 10 where you give me your name, your daughter's name, her age, her school, and your physical address. I need your address because I personally am going to purchase and ship 10 copies. I'm going to ship to the first 10 respondents. And here's what I'm going to do. I don't just want to put the book in her hands. I'm going to offer up my time, and I won't decide on the time until I hear from those 10 respondents because I want to put out a poll and get something that's mutually agreeable. So the first 10 respondents who email me to reachforwardfoundation@gmail.com, I'm going to send your teenage girl an autographed copy of the book, and I'm going to get with that group and make myself available, and we're going to have our own book circle and girl talk. So I will actually connect with them through Zoom, and we will read it together and just have some girl talk to go along with it. I was really trying to figure out how I can help you support your daughter during this time with all these things going on, and that is my offer. Unheard of. I've never done it before. The first 10 responded. Somebody please comment the information that I need in the email. So here's what I need you to email me. Okay, John is going to type this in. I need the adult's name. I need the teen girl's name, the girl's age, the school she attends, and the physical address. Because I'm actually going to purchase for the first 10 respond. I'm going to get 10 copies of my book. Send them to your home and then reconnect so that I can offer a virtual book circle with the girls. We're going to read it together, have some girl chat, and that is my contribution that I want to offer you to really help support during this time. Did you catch that, Jonna? So you can comment that for me. And these are for the first 10 respondents who send that block of information to my reachforwardfoundation@gmail.com. And I will also respond with Reach Forward Foundation information in case you are local. You don't have to be local. You don't have to be local to respond and get the book for your daughter and do the virtual book circle. But if you're local, you can also have your child join Reach Forward Foundation. The second offer. The second offer. Okay, we're trying to wrap our arms around the teenage girls as best we can. So a dear sister friend of mine, Jonna Madrid, a bear. It's actually a bear. We had that whole conversation. It's actually French, but commoners say Herbert. She is also offering some support for your teen girls. So 13 to 18, if they're still high school seniors, is that right? 13 to 18. She's offering TAM groups. And the TAM groups are so that teenagers, and then hers, girls and boys, teenagers can get together virtually. They can bounce ideas off of each other. They can know that they're not in this thing alone. They can talk about what's going on, how it's impacting them, how they feel. So she is putting together what's called TAM groups. I'm going to tell you how to contact her, and you can also type it in. Her name is Jonna Herbert, JonnaHerbert. And to learn more about her TAM groups, you can send email to Jonna, Jonna, at theanalyst.us. That's Jonna at symbol theanalyst.us. So I'm offering this book circle and free books for the first 10 girl respondents. And Jonna is offering her TAM groups. So hey, your girls can be in the book circle. We can talk about the book and have a little girl talk. Then they can hop on over to the TAM groups and have some other good conversation and emotional support and bounce some ideas off and just, extend their network. They're on social media anyway, but these are two sets of positive networks that they can be involved in. So yes, Jonna Herbert just posted her group. Her TAM groups are for 13 to 19-year-olds, boys and girls, and she's posted all the information that you need to contact her and join the TAM groups. We're still networking. We were supposed to do a live event together. She was hosting a retreat, and I was supposed to stay overnight and present 2 nights. We had to postpone that, so I'm like, hey, what can we do? We still connected. We still working together in this thing. So my first 10 respondents to my email with all that information that was commented that I need you to provide, I'm going to send books, autographed copies to the first 10 teen girl respondents, and then put together some times for a virtual book circle. And yes, for both of our programs, you don't even have to be in the United States. It doesn't matter where you are. That's the beauty of this virtual thing and Zoom. So yes, Jonna says the same thing. Any state or country is welcome. Matter of fact, Chimso, I would love for you to get some young ladies from Gaborone involved. I would love. What a great cultural exchange. I would love for you to get some girls involved in Gaborone. And then the final thing I've talked about, Reach Forward Foundation. If you go to the Reach Forward Foundation website, you can sign up and be privy to the things that we've got going on. We're trying to engage our families virtually as well. And as soon as all this blows over, we will resume our in-person physical meetings with our mentees. Reach Forward Foundation is for both girls and boys as well, 6th through 12th grade. So I wanted to I hope you've heard something that encouraged you and inspired you this evening. I hope so. If I could just do my little part in my little corner of the world, I hope you've heard something to help you encourage your teenage daughter. Please respond. And even if you're not the first 10, I still am inviting you to be part of this circle. You're just going to have to go to Amazon.com and get a book. That's all. I'm purchasing the books for the first 10. And so I want you to join the girls, join the book circle for Bold, Brave, and Courageous right here. Once again, I am sending copies, autographed copies, to the first 10 who respond in the email. And then anyone else who's outside of the 10, I'll just let you know where you can purchase the book. And then I'm going to also offer a virtual circle where we will read it together and have some girl chat. Don't forget about the TAM groups. Jonna Herbert commented her information on that. Her groups are for girls and boys, teen girls and teen boys. And then, of course, Reach Forward Foundation for those that are in the Oklahoma City metro area. I love you guys so much. Please let me know if there is anything else that I can do for you to be of support. If you need help with college planning, we can do that. Just whatever it is. Your daughter needs a little support, one-to-one, group support, whatever it is. We're all here for you. I love you guys. Are there any other questions or comments? It's 7:59. We did this thing. So I love you guys so much. Please share this video. and stay tuned for what I'll have for you next. I love you and good night. This is Wawana Montgomery signing off.